Picture this. It's October 732 AD, Tours, central France. You're a Frankish soldier, heavy infantry, wearing chainmail, holding a spear and shield. You're standing in formation. Shield wall, thousands of men, shoulder to shoulder. In front of you, the largest cavalry force you've ever seen, 50,000 horsemen, maybe more. Umayyad Muslims from Spain, Arabs, Berbers, the army that conquered half the world. They've swept through Spain, crossed the Pyrenees, raided deep into France, taking gold, slaves, burning churches, monasteries. They're 20 miles from Tours, where the Cathedral of St. Martin sits, one of Christianity's holiest sites. If they take Tours, Paris is next, then all of Francia, then all of Christian Europe. You're part of the army sent to stop them, led by Charles Martel. The hammer, 30,000 Frankish infantry, no cavalry, no archers, just heavy infantry, with shields and spears, against 50,000 cavalry, the most mobile, deadly force in the world. The Muslims have been winning for 100 years, since Prophet Muhammad. They conquered Arabia, Persia, Syria, Egypt, North Africa, Spain, an empire from India to the Atlantic, in 1 century. They've never been stopped, not permanently, until today, maybe. The Umayyad cavalry charges, a wall of horses, thundering, thousands. You brace, lock shields, dig in, the horses hit, crash. Your shield absorbs the impact, your spear thrusts, a horse goes down, but more come, endless. Cavalry circling, attacking, withdrawing, attacking again. For hours, your arms burn, your legs shake, but you hold. The shield wall holds. The Muslims can't break it, can't flank it, can't penetrate it. For the first time in 100 years, the Islamic expansion stops at Tours against Frankish infantry, who refuse to break. If you want to understand how one man saved Christian Europe, how infantry defeated cavalry, and why Tours changed history, hit that subscribe button. This is the story of the hammer, the battle that stopped an empire, when discipline met mobility and discipline won. Let's start with how the Muslims got to France and why nobody could stop them. 711 AD Islamic armies crossed from North Africa into Spain, the Umayyad Caliphate, based in Damascus, ruling the Islamic world. They've conquered everything: Arabia, Persia, Syria, Palestine, Egypt, North Africa, now Spain, the Visigothic kingdom, Christian, weak, divided, the Muslims' land, 12,000 soldiers, led by Tariq ibn Ziyad. They face 30,000 Visigoths, King Roderick commanding, Battle of Guadalete, July 711. The Visigoths lose catastrophically. Roderick dies, his army destroyed. In one battle, Spain is open. The Muslims don't just raid, they conquer. By 718, all of Spain is Muslim, except a tiny pocket in the north, Asturias, 7 years, an entire kingdom, gone. The Muslims call it Al-Andalus, paradise, rich, advanced, civilized. For 700 years, Spain stays Muslim, until 1492, but in 720, the Muslims don't stop at Spain. They cross the Pyrenees into Francia, modern France, raiding, testing, probing. 732, they launch a major invasion, an army, 50,000 plus soldiers, cavalry mostly, led by Abd al-Rahman al-Ghafiqi, governor of Al-Andalus, experienced commander, ambitious. His goal? Conquer Francia, take Tours, then Paris, then everything. Why Tours? Because of St. Martin, Martin of Tours, 4th century saint, one of Christianity's most important figures. His tomb, his cathedral, in Tours, a pilgrimage site, incredibly wealthy. Gold, silver, treasures, donations from across Europe. Abd al-Rahman wants it. The gold, the symbolic victory. We'll take the saint's treasure, show Christian Europe. They can't stop us. The army marches north, from Spain, through Aquitaine, southern France, burning, looting, slaughtering. Duke Odo of Aquitaine tries to stop them. Battle of Bordeaux, June 732. The Muslims destroy him completely. Odo flees north to Charles Martel, the Frankish ruler, begging for help. Charles answers. Charles Martel, Karl, the hammer, born around 688, bastard son of Pepin II, Frankish mayor of the palace. Not a king, not officially, but the real power. Behind the Merovingian puppet kings, Charles grew up fighting, civil wars, rival nobles, Germanic tribes. By 732, he's ruled Francia for 15 years, through strength, military genius. He's in his 40s, experienced, brutal, effective. When Odo comes begging, Charles sees opportunity. I'll help, but after, Aquitaine submits to me. Odo agrees, he has no choice. Charles assembles an army, 30,000 men, heavy infantry, Frankish warriors, no cavalry. Franks don't use cavalry, not yet, they're infantry, with chainmail, shields, spears, axes, trained, disciplined, heavy. They march south, toward Tours, to intercept the Muslims. October 732. The armies meet near Tours, Poitiers. The exact location is debated. Charles positions his army on a hill. Defensive position, infantry, in formation, shield wall, ready. The Muslims arrive, 50,000 cavalry, light and heavy, mobile, fast. They see the Franks, on the hill, infantry, no cavalry. Abd al-Rahman is confident. Cavalry always beats infantry, will break them. He's fought this battle before, against Visigoths, Byzantines, Persians. Cavalry wins always, except these aren't Visigoths. The battle begins, probably October 10th, 732, exact date uncertain. The Muslims don't charge immediately. They probe, test, cavalry raids, hitting the flanks, withdrawing, testing the shield wall. The Franks don't move. Shield wall holds, discipline perfect. This goes on for days, maybe a week. Skirmishes, raids, no decisive engagement. Why? Because neither side wants to commit. Charles knows if he attacks, his infantry will be exposed, vulnerable to cavalry. Better to stay defensive, on the hill, make them attack. Abd al-Rahman knows charging uphill into a shield wall is risky. Cavalry needs space, momentum. A charge uphill against prepared infantry, dangerous. So, they wait. Test, probe, then something changes. The Franks start raiding. The Muslim camp, the baggage train, where the loot is, the treasure, the slaves, the Muslims panic. Their whole reason for being here, the plunder. Abd al-Rahman has no choice. He orders a full assault. Cavalry, all of it, charge the Franks. Break the shield wall. End this. 50,000 cavalry, charging uphill, at 30,000 infantry. The Franks brace. Shields locked, spears braced, feet dug in. The Muslims hit. Crash. Horses slam into shields. Lances thrust. Swords swing. The Franks don't move. The shield wall holds. Horses can't penetrate, can't push through, can't break the formation. Spears thrust. Into horses, into riders. Systematic. Brutal. The cavalry withdraws, regroups, charges again. Crash. Again, again, again. For hours. From morning to afternoon. The Franks hold every single time. Their armour is heavy. 40 pounds of chainmail, but it works. Deflects swords, lances. Their shields are large, wooden, reinforced, overlapping, impenetrable. Their discipline? Perfect. Nobody breaks formation. Nobody runs. This is what Charles trained them for. Stand, hold, kill. Medieval infantry at its finest. The Muslim cavalry, used to mobility, speed, flanking. Against a static shield wall, on a hill, they're useless. Can't flank. The Franks are too wide, too deep, can't penetrate. The shields are too strong, too coordinated, can't outlast. The Franks are patient, they'll stand here all day. The charges continue, desperate now, then disaster. Abd al-Rahman, the Muslim commander, leading from the front, a Frankish spear, thrust, hits him, through the armour. He falls, dead. The Muslim army panics. Their commander is dead, in the middle of battle. No clear successor. The cavalry charges are stop. Units breaking, retreating, not routed, not fleeing, but withdrawing, confused. The Franks don't pursue. Charles forbids it. Hold the line, don't chase, stay disciplined. Smart. Chasing cavalry with infantry? Suicide. You get separated, surrounded, killed. Better to hold. Let them break themselves. That night, the Muslims retreat. Back to their camp, arguing about command, about what to do. By morning, they're gone. Packed up, withdrawn, south, back towards Spain. The Franks won, without even pursuing. Abd al-Rahman is dead. The invasion is over. Tours is saved. Francia is saved. Christian Europe is saved. The aftermath is massive, historically. Charles Martel becomes a legend, instantly. The hammer. Because he crushed the Muslims, he's celebrated across Christian Europe, the saviour, the defender. He uses this, politically, consolidates power, his family, the Carolingians, his son, Pepin the Short, becomes the first Carolingian king. 751, his grandson, Charlemagne, Holy Roman Emperor, greatest medieval ruler, the Carolingian Empire, the foundation of modern Europe, starts with Charles at Tours. The Muslims retreat to Spain, never seriously invade France again. Raids? Yes. Small incursions. But no major invasions. Tours is the high water mark, Islamic expansion into Western Europe. They got this far, no further. Spain stays Muslim for 700 years, but France, Christian, forever. The Pyrenees become the border between Christian and Muslim Europe, a border that lasts 1,300 years. What actually happened at Tours? Historians debate. Medieval sources exaggerate wildly. 100,000 Muslims killed? Probably not. Maybe 10,000. Maybe less. The fate of Christianity decided? Maybe. Maybe not. Some historians say Tours was decisive, stopped Islamic expansion, saved Europe. Others say overrated. Muslims were overextended, would have retreated anyway. The truth? Probably somewhere between. Was Tours the decisive battle? No. The Muslims had internal problems, civil wars, distractions. But did it matter? Yes. It stopped the invasion, prevented conquest of Francia, and symbolically, huge. Christian Europe saw it as divine intervention. God saved us through Charles Martel. That narrative shapes European identity for centuries. We stopped the Muslims, we defended Christendom. True or exaggerated, it becomes the story. The myth and myths matter. Why did Charles win? 3 reasons. Discipline. Frankish infantry, trained, coordinated, unbreakable. Medieval infantry is usually weak, peasants with spears, easily broken. Frankish infantry, professional, veterans, heavy armour, shield walls, they'd fought for years, Saxons, Germanic tribes, each other. They knew how to stand, under pressure, under attack. The Muslims had never faced infantry like this. Terrain. Charles picked the position, a hill, defensive, cavalry charging uphill, loses momentum, loses advantage. The Franks had the high ground, classic military advantage, leadership. Charles refused to be baited, stayed disciplined. When the Muslims retreated, he didn't chase, didn't risk his advantage. That's genius. Knowing when not to fight. Lesser generals chase, get separated, get killed. Charles held and won. The Muslim side, why did they lose? Overconfidence. Abd al-Rahman assumed cavalry would win. Always had. Against Visigoths, Byzantines, Persians, cavalry won. Against disciplined Frankish infantry. Different story. Logistics. They were 1,000 miles from home, raiding, no supply lines, living off plunder. When the Franks raided the baggage train, the Muslims panicked. Their loot, their reason for being here, gone. Leadership. When Abd al-Rahman died, chaos, no succession plan. Muslim armies rely on commanders, centralised top-down. Lose the commander, the army falls apart. Frankish armies, more distributed, nobles, veterans, multiple leaders. Lose one, others step up. That's organisational resilience. The legacy of Tours, complicated, controversial even, for centuries, Christian Europe celebrated. We stopped the Muslims, medieval chronicles, epic poems, religious texts. Tours becomes legend, Charles becomes hero. But modern historians, more cautious. Was it that important? Would Muslims have conquered all Europe? Probably not. They were overextended, facing rebellions, internal conflicts. Tours didn't save Europe, but it stopped an invasion. And invasions, they matter, even if not existential. The Reconquista starts here. Psychologically, Christian Europe sees Muslims can be beaten in open battle, not with tricks, not with luck, with discipline, with strength. That confidence drives 700 years of reconquest, until 1492, Granada falls, Spain returns to Christian control, starts with Tours with the hammer. Charles Martel dies, 741 AD, age 53, divides his realm between his sons, Carloman and Pepin. Within a generation, Pepin becomes king, first Carolingian monarch, then Charlemagne, his grandson, conquers half of Europe. Holy Roman Empire lasts 1,000 years, until Napoleon starts with Charles, with Tours. That's legacy, not just a battle, a dynasty. The Muslims stay in Spain, Al-Andalus, for 700 years, flourishing culturally, scientifically, architecturally. Cordoba, Granada, Seville, centres of learning, while Europe is dark, but they never take France, never take Italy, never take Germany. Tours is the lane, the boundary. Christendom survives, fractured, weak, but alive. Modern Europe, shaped by Tours directly. Imagine the Muslims had won, taken France, taken Germany. Europe becomes Muslim, like Spain, like North Africa. Does the Renaissance happen? Does the Reformation? The Enlightenment? Who knows? History changes completely. But they didn't win. Charles stopped them. So Europe stays Christian, develops independently from Islamic world, different culture, different philosophy, different trajectory. For better or worse, that's what happened. Tours didn't save civilization, but it preserved a path, the path Europe took for 1,300 years. The battlefield today, farmland near Poitiers, France. There's a small monument, barely marked, few tourists, locals know. The Battle of Tours, where Charles Martel stopped the Muslims, but for most, forgotten, just fields. In 732, it was different. It was everything. 50,000 cavalry, charging against 30,000 infantry for hours, from dawn to afternoon. The cavalry? Fast, mobile, deadly. The infantry? Slow, heavy, disciplined. The cavalry lost, because discipline beats speed when you use it right, because terrain matters. Hills favour defenders, because leadership matters. Charles outthought Abd al-Rahman, not outfought. Outthought. There's a broader lesson about warfare, about history. Technology isn't everything. Cavalry was superior on paper, mobility, speed, striking power against heavy infantry. Should win, usually did. Except when infantry is disciplined, when tactics are smart. Then the inferior force wins. Tours, Crécy, Agincourt, all the same story. Infantry, disciplined, well-led, beating cavalry, because soldiers aren't just equipment, they're people, training, morale, leadership. Those matter more. The Muslims had better cavalry, better mobility, better experience. The Franks had better discipline, better position, better leadership. Discipline won. If this story of the hammer and the shield wall inspired you, hit that like button and subscribe. Let me know in the comments. Was Tours really that important, or overrated? October 732. Tours, central France. 30,000 Frankish infantry, standing on a hill, shields locked, spears ready. 50,000 Umayyad cavalry, charging. Again and again, for hours. The cavalry? The greatest military force in the world, undefeated for 100 years. The infantry? Heavy, slow, unfashionable. The cavalry charged, the infantry held. For hours, until the Muslim commander died, until the cavalry broke. Charles Martel, the hammer, won. Not through mobility, not through speed, not through technology, through discipline, through choosing his ground, through refusing to break. The Islamic expansion stopped at Tours, Christian Europe, saved for better or worse. The Carolingian dynasty, born, leading to Charlemagne, the Holy Roman Empire, all because 30,000 Frankish infantry refused to run, stood their ground against impossible odds, and won in one morning in a field in France where discipline met cavalry and discipline won. The hammer had spoken.